All right, welcome to the Ultimate Universe. We're doing Ultimate Year 1, or Ultimate 1 Year in. That's what I meant to say. So, we're going to hop into this. This is the prequel to Ultimate Wolverine, which we will do Ultimate Wolverine probably after this because they do a little bit of a reveal. So, to catch up on what's been happening with the Ultimates, I think so far I've posted up to issue 8 or 9, but essentially the Ultimates have been growing, and the Maker and their council, the Illuminati, have not been having fun with that. So let's get into their team. So let's take a look at the world real quick. So here's the world. We have the former North American Union that is redistributed to pretty much everybody. We have the Society of South America, owned by the Hellfire Club and Emmanuel da Costa. That is Sunspot, and I believe it's his dad killing Sunspot. The European Coalition, owned by Captain Britain. The cities owned by the Maker. That's in Latveria. The Upper and Lower Kingdoms, that's Africa, owned by Ron Khonshu. The Eurasian Republic, owned by Magic, Colossus, and Omega Red. That's where Ultimate Wolverine takes place. Hinokuni, I don't fucking know what that says. That's Japan. And then the Children of the Eternal Light, that's where the Hulk is at. I don't know why the Hulk gets like that much shit, but he's also the Iron Fist. So let's hop in. This is in the point of view of Nick Fury, who is in charge of Hand. Instead of director of S.H.I.E.L.D., he's the director of Hand. This man is a terrorist. Look carefully. His name is Keith Kincaid. He's 41. Ignore the wife and kids. Look past the spotless record, never convicted of a crime, never arrested, never so much as a parking ticket or a litter citation. It's just a man with his happy family barbecuing. Throw away the sworn affidavits filled out in triplets from friends and neighbors attesting to changed tires, shoveled walkways, cats saved from trees. So this guy is a bona fide, he's not a hero, but he's a bona fide good dude. The Christmas Eves and soup kitchens, the charitable givings, the summers building houses for the poor, ignore all of that good things he does, because last Tuesday, after one too many, Keith turned to someone he shouldn't have and said, "Do you ever wonder if these Ultimates people have a point?" Keith Kincaid is a terrorist because of this one action. That just shows you how the system is rigged against these people. It's not owned, it's not individualist, it's you are under these people. If you say anything bad, they will kill you. And we see the weather form around him. And he gets struck by lightning. On purpose? I don't know. Who's to say? Direct hit, sir. The target is dead. We do not tolerate terrorists. Nice work, Agent. You throw a mean lightning bolt. So yes, if you say anything out of line and anybody hears you or reports you, you're going to get killed by the Hand. The targeting system does most of the work, but thank you, sir. We are Hand, Heroic Anomaly Neutralization Directorate. This is the Beast flagship, Kumalo carrier of the Hand Heli Fleet. From here, Hand predicts and preemptively eliminates threats to the global order. The Beast is powered by a thorough nuclear core and equipped with some of the most sophisticated surveillance technology on the planet. Disguised as a permanent mile-wide thunderstorm, we can micro-target budding terrorists like Keith in Tallahassee. I lived there for a bit. Oh, dang. Listening to high schoolers accidentally implicate their parents in Pittsburgh. In other words, we can do pretty much whatever we want. I just got off recording Ultimates issue 11 where they did poems, so I'm kind of still in that voice vibe of reading a poem. So that's why my voice sounds a little bit weirder than normal. But yeah, so they are basically just do whatever they want, and they hide themselves in thunderclouds so it doesn't look super suspicious. Because what's more suspicious than, oh dang, there's a giant spaceship in the air? Hand agents are now crawling like shadows across every inch of Keith Kincaid's home and office, looking for terrorist links, a supersuit, a holographic message, a Stark Tech Catalyst container box, an origin box basically. But they won't find anything because there's nothing really to find. So they just murdered him, and then they assumed, oh hey, he talked about the Ultimates, maybe this guy's gonna join. They just take out anybody that seems like a threat. Today, we have an audience, so I've got to make it look good. My name is Nick Fury, Director of Hand, and this is my last confession. So it seems Director Fury, this is Nick Fury Sr., not Junior, has a change of heart. He doesn't want to do this anymore. Of course, the kind of people I work with, I can't actually write anything down, can't take that chance that somebody will find it early. So I'm writing this in my head instead. And then he gets informed that the group that he's here to see is actually here. But that's no guarantee. Hell, Psychic interrogation is page 43 of the hand training manual. I wrote the manual. And we see there's Howard the Duck just chilling. I don't know what they took him in for, what he did, but he looks weird. If I fail, I imagine it'll be easy to pluck it out, whatever's left of my head. And if I succeed, well, if you're reading this, whoever you are, you've got me at a rare disadvantage. You know how it all turns out. I don't. And we see make the maker proud. That's a weird symbol right there. I can already tell this is going to be a long video. I bet you have questions. I bet number one with a bullet is, why'd he do it? Lately, I've been asking myself the same thing as he enters the room full of the counsel for the maker. I've had a bullet in my brain since 1944. Used to say I survived, but my conscience didn't make it. Until a year ago, I answered directly to the maker. In his absence, I answered to the council. For those of you reading who might not know, and now he gets a rundown of everybody from the council. I kind of did that earlier, but this is more specific. But this issue is kind of just get to the point of, hey, everybody, this is what's been going on, to sum it up for everybody that doesn't really catch up with the comics and just reads every now and then. But we'll go through the line of everybody. The one with a thick French accent is Captain Britain, Henry Duggery, ruler of Europe and the east coast of North America, king of Avalon, and all around twit. That's all I'm going to say. He's a born aristocrat, obsessed with blood, the most punchable face I've ever seen. But you'd only break your hand. Speaking of blood, there's Emmanuel da Costa, leader of the Society of South America and the Black King of the Hellfire Club. Little known fact, he receives regular transfusions to keep him feeling young and vital. The sickly looking kid attached to him is his son, and that's what keeps him youthful. The boy has a genetic mutation that gives him power over fire and light. He's a dying son. Joke's on you. So that sunspot is the kid. His dad is evil. The transfusions give da Costa temporary super attributes. His son is just one of many blood boys. The Rasputins are infamous, of course. The new Tsars of Eurasia and Limbo, the direct descendants of the actual Rasputin. They inherited his famous sense of humor. We are here not for making money. We are here for making graves. Good job, Colossus. So we have Colossus, Magic. I love Magic, by the way. Top 5 X-Men character. That's all I'm going to say. And then we have Omega Red. They rule with an iron fist. Literally. They never smile and speak only when they have to. Emperor Sunfire doesn't speak at all. He has Viper, the voice of the rising sun for that. Sunfire is Emperor of Hinokunai, he who sits the Crescilian throne. Ra and Khonshu, the lords of the upper and lower kingdoms, are chosen representatives of Egyptian gods on earth. They rule all of Africa. Almost all of it. The gods follow a different order of logic and are mysteries even to me. Finally, the gray monster with the serene face is Bruce Banner, the incredible enlightened Hulk. Him, I bet you've heard of it, rules most of Asia and the west coast of North America, absolute monarch of the 7 celestial cities of heaven, spiritual leader to billions. The Hulk is the strongest thing of Earth and the most dangerous. They are the council. They rule the world, at least for now. So they say, why did you bring us here, Fury? You have our full attention. Give your report. And he says, glad you all can make it. I've been meaning to get you together for a while. They're monsters, but my hands have as much blood on them as theirs. These are my kind of people now. This is my kind of party. But it wasn't always this way. Those early days were different. Kicking in the teeth of Nazi vampires, sabotaging superhumans with Dum Dum and the Howlers, good and evil, black and white. Things seemed much clearer then, cleaner. So we get a little bit into the report of what Nick Fury was doing before he was the director of Hand. I assume he fought with Captain America as well. But then later things get blurry. And, well, I became the director of Hand. So we see the Maker come to him and give him a deal after getting shot. I assume the Maker would make him do this because he was always supposed to be the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. But he loses concentration during it and they scream Fury. Enough with the backstory of the Ultimates. We already know all of this. Give us something new. And Fury goes on, well, following Dr. Banner's failure in Kunlun, and that makes the Hulk very mad. Well, maybe you did see him die in your hands. He hasn't been seen since, but the others are still operating. 3 weeks ago, the one from the White House calling herself Miss America Chavez intervened to protect a group of pro-democracy protesters in Guatemala. 1 week ago, another damage control facility was raided and burned to the ground by a flying man of fire. What was lost is still unclear. And just yesterday, a shipment of weapons meant for the war in Wakanda was destroyed by exploding arrows. The Ultimates terrorist network is still active. They are now less high profile, less ambitious, but more careful. Incredible work, Dr. Banner. And it's a shock that the Hulk doesn't just kill him. He's like, I've recently rediscovered an appreciation for mindless violence. You should be careful, Dr. Fury, or Mr. Fury. But Fury is basically just stalling for time. He looks to his watch, and we see we have 19 minutes left, as we saw him put on the 35-minute timer earlier. What scares me now is dying without some kind of redemption, so I'm playing along. So yeah, he's gonna kill these guys, attempt to at least. That would be so convenient if he kills all of them, right? But he goes on, there's some good news. We are handily winning the information war. The terrorist framing has total penetration. It's a classic for a reason. Violent nationalists, pagan false gods, radicals from the future, spoiled nepo baby billionaires. The narratives write themselves. Actually, narrative writes the narratives, but you know what I mean. We had a decades-long head start in indoctrination, and our will-awakening free school milk program has left the population highly susceptible to suggestion. Culture has ramped up its efforts and flooded all media channels with pro-status quo messaging, film, TV, music, podcasts, video games, and comic books. So basically, they're just being like, the Ultimates are bad. Propaganda. Classic. And Nick says, it can be hard to tell the difference between following orders and playing along. And Britain says, comic books? That's a waste of resources. Did anybody still read those? Well, you'd be surprised. The point is, it's working. Even among those prone to support the Ultimates agenda, we've created a zone of strategic uncertainty. Sure, we messaged the numbers, inflated casualties and costs, but couldn't have done it without them. The public hates a death toll. That's why ours is strictly classified. Sometimes I can't even stand myself. But on the bright side, I won't have to soon. He's got 12 minutes left. And Omega Red shows up, and I don't even know why this guy's in charge. It's not even related to the Rasputines. Information war? A what of war? So he's asking, what about the real actual war? Our way, when we have such a problem, is to come to them in their home. When they sit on a toilet or sleeping with a wife, we kill family, children, grandmother. It doesn't really matter. And we drag them through the street in dripping chains so that everyone can see, and then we don't have a problem anymore. So basically, why haven't we just humiliated them and killed them all already? Well, we're working on it. Their technology is decades ahead of anything found outside of the city. So all the good technology is trapped with the Maker. We've recovered one of the stealth suits with only minor damage, but the boys in Exo shop so they could take years to finally crack, and it's the Falcon suit. Besides, Tony Stark, the identities of the Ultimates are closely kept secrets. They could be anyone. And at this point, the council gets upset. So you have nothing? I think you owe us an apology. You've wasting our time. The meeting's over. Next time, please just do a virtual conference, because what the fuck? And then, yeah, Jamie Britton's like, we have continents to run. The original public does not need your aid. They have a Sentinel program. We haven't really seen that yet in Ultimate Wolverine. Well, at least I haven't. I haven't caught up. And a Winter Soldier program. That is the Wolverine. I can't wait to go over that one, because that is a good... It's a good story. I like it. And then Fury says, hey, wait, there's more. We have more. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this. And he pulls up some random agents where they unzip their suits. Whoa, these are our men in Wakanda, New York, and Hinokunai, embedded with what we believe are likely future recruits of the Ultimates. We have dozens just like them all over the world, equipped with airtight artificial identities and pseudo-psychologies. So basically people that are equipped in plain sight. They can be anyone. Agents operating in our own territories without our permission? That's bad. Everybody gets all pissed. So Fury reminds them, you work for the Maker, by the way, and I work directly for the Maker, which means you guys work directly under me at the same level, so shut the fuck up. It's basically what he says. But he goes on, in addition to our deep cover network, we've made serious progress in turning someone already inside the organization. So the Ultimates have a traitor among them. He won't reveal who it is. That's no bueno, by the way. That's awful. That's bad news for the Ultimates. I wonder who the traitor is. I know who it is because I'm caught up, but we'll see who it is later. But the Hulk gets angry and says, are you implying that we are taking security risks, that the Ultimates have spies in our organizations? My people are dedicated to me, mind, body, and spirit. And Fury in his head says, if you ever wondered how a group of power-hungry twits like this could work together, the answer is they don't, not really. But the Maker kept them in line. The Maker's design kept them in balance. With Stark and Stain gone, North America carved up, and the Maker locked in the city for another year, which is like a 10,000 years for that guy, the entire system is beginning to break down. I'm just going to hurry things up a little. And he says, perhaps we could revisit the partition of North America. You seem stretched beyond your capabilities. And Nick Fury goes on, we're getting to the end here, but I still haven't answered the question, whoever you are. Why did I do it? Why did I serve the Maker? Then betray him? Maybe a bullet killed my conscience in 44. Maybe it grew back. Whatever I did, I believed I was doing it for the greater good. For the greater good, I enabled the inhuman genocide and subsequent dysphoria. And we see him just kill Black Bolt. Fuck that guy. For the greater good, I killed a family of star children meant to usher in a bright new human age. For the greater good, I permanently crippled promising young scientists and potentially destabilizing ideas. I gave my life for the greater good, which would make me a dead man. And then they ask, are we boring you, Fury? And he responds, always, but now you've got my full attention. Initiate self-destruct sequence, Fury override code. And he's going to set off the self-destruct sequence. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's going to betray them. One thing I've learned over 60 years of killing so-called superheroes is they don't stay down. So they say, what are you doing, Fury? Come on, don't tell me you weren't expecting it. You can put bullets in their head, 10 lobed brains, and bury their indestructible bodies under parking lots. You can suffocate the superwoman in poison gas and run the semi-divine boys through 1,000 or 100,000 volts till their perfect hearts finally give up. You can make them do things they never thought they could. Horrible things, but however many you co-opt or put down, more will always rise up. He goes on, in a few seconds, this entire helicarrier goes up in a Roman candle as big as 10,000 Hiroshimas. It might even kill you, Banner. We'll find out, though. I just had to make sure we were far enough away from anywhere inhabited. I've got enough blood on my hands without adding half of Florida. So they just sit there and are like, oh, shoot, bro. We got 5 seconds left. They're out there, more out every day. They can be anyone. If I succeed and you're reading this, decanted, I guess, from the astral plane or wherever this mind goes to when the brain becomes vapor, then know that I'm sorry. And he says, I figure they've got a chance now with you out of the way. With us out of the way, they've got a chance. That's got to count for something. I want you to know that I've always hated all of you. See you all in hell. And as the clock hits 1, nothing happens. What the hell? And then the Illuminati just laugh at him. Look at his face. Look at him. It gets me every time. So this has happened so many other times. I suppose it's that time again. They barely last a year at this point. And the team talks about what happened last time. Was last time an exploding island? No. Last time was a hyperplague infected handshake. The exploding island was 2 attempts ago. Did you compose a confession this time, Nicholas? I particularly enjoy those. My name is Nick Fury, and this is my last confession. I like a tidbit about the bullet in his brain, the conscious growing back. It's very poetic. And he's like, what the fuck? And he starts shooting down. You know, Nicholas, I'm not really one for reality television, but I could watch you struggle all day. In fact, I sometimes do. I hold viewing parties. Your pain is a big hit with the bored billionaire demographic. So yeah, the team, he's done this multiple times. He gets replaced every time. He's a clone. He's not the real Nick Fury. They burn him alive. Men like you don't get redemption, Fury. Men like you get replaced. And then he burns up to a crisp, seeing all these people that he's murdered behind him. So the team go to clear it up, and they say, it would be good to have a fresh perspective on the problem. I don't know if you can call it fresh, though. And Fury goes on, if I failed, if I died for nothing and the council lives, if you're part of the vast and dehumanizing machine we call the greater good, then I'm also sorry, because your life is as pointless and pathetic as mine was, but you're still there. The council go through the hallways. I'll never understand why the Maker continues to allow this. We demand obedience from everyone. Well, a spy isn't a soldier or a citizen. A spy is a spy. And a person that won't really betray you isn't that much of a spy. Additionally, these expected betrayals have the potential to flush out unexpected traitors. They tend to find each other. But to tell you the truth, most of all, I think the whole thing just makes the Maker smile. And we see a giant closet full of all of these clones. I'm surprised Nick Fury doesn't know that he's a clone. Boom. That's the end of Ultimate Universe 1 year. Absolute Universe 1 year in. Ultimate Universe 1 year in. So thank you for watching. This is a long one. I'm sorry. Yeah, be sure to comment, like, subscribe. Peace out.